Welcome back to Yuri's Box. This video is going to be a quick one. I'm just going to go over the ISM numbers that we got out for manufacturing and the Atlanta Fed GDPnow forecast for Q1. If you like this kind of content, consider leaving a like, and nothing as usual is to be considered financial advice. So we got the headline number for the Institute for Supply Management on manufacturing come out at 50.3. If you look at the single most cited problem by respondents, it's really coming down to uncertainty due to the tariffs. That seems to be, what everyone is kind of blaming at the moment. There is a case to be made that this is just like you could draw a parallel to stocks and say that it's like narrow following price. We know that if you look at new orders have been historically sluggish. Now we did have a pickup in the last months, but kind of the slowdown theme has been consistent throughout 2024. While we're at it, new orders actually were one of the items that fell in the report. Was still at in contraction rather at 48.6. Production is flat, and employment, which is an important one, actually saw a significant decline from 50.3 to 47.6. I think this is consistent with the theme I laid out in my previous videos, where basically, when it comes down to non-farm payrolls, I'm not expecting anything major happening. I'm expecting a miss, but nothing dramatic. I'm not expecting sandstorms and lightning bolts. Somewhere between 100K. That's what I said in my last video, but again, that's just my personal thought. It's take it as it is. As far as the ISM numbers are concerned, again, you've seen really prices paid jump a lot, and that's caught a lot of attention. Again, this is consistent with what people are saying in this report, basically that tariffs are to blame. And of course, if you're kind of bidding up continuously, goods in order to front run tariffs, you are going to kind of have a self-fulfilling prophecy where, the fact that you have to build up inventories in itself is potentially inflationary, and is probably something that has helped this number get pushed up. You really do see actually a trend here, just looking at the last few months. Ever since you had those tariff fears get waved around in the market, you've seen it consistently go up. So that's that. Again, just to summarize, I'm not really that worried about inflation. And the reason is that you really have to contextualize it with where you are in the economic cycle. If you look at inflation, history, what usually happens is that inflation has the very, very bad habit of putting in a peak just before a time of crisis. Okay, so you just look at the last three recessions. 2008. Now, of course, granted, every recession is different, and every slowdown has its own peculiarities. This is just pointing out the pattern with inflation. Again, you see it peak out around 3.5% in the 2000, just before the 2001 recession. You can look at the 1990 recession. You had inflation actually move up. You usually do see stagflationary fears just before things go bad. So again, I'm not so worried about that side of the equation at this point. What is significant is really employment and new orders. Okay, and both, at least employment has been quite sluggish ever since November, and new orders have been hanging in there. Although we did see a big drop. Close off. We had a new update on Atlanta GDP for the first quarter. I personally was expecting it to be revised slightly up, but what they basically did is they incorporated the data that got released from the ISM and basically put it together with what they had before, with the data that came out on Friday. And that basically paints an even worse picture, with the GDPnow estimating GDP for the first quarter in the US at negative 2.8, which, well, is not good. Let's leave it at that. Now, again, the big caveat is that what they're doing when they're calculating this data is that they get the data that comes out and they quarterize it, meaning they kind of multiply it by 3. So it's basically saying, if this data continues, this is what we'll get. The problem is that this kind of data is kind of consistently coming out, and it's consistently saying the same thing. The only thing you can really do with this number is just wait for the data and draw conclusions from then on. Really, this is just a reflection of the data that's coming out. Nothing more than that. So yeah, the next update we get is on Thursday, March 6th. One thing I'll be watching for sure before Friday, as I mentioned in my last video, is initial jobless claims. There is okay. I'm glad they updated it, because while I was recording yesterday, I actually had it at 235, the forecast, which was at 340k, which was seemed quite odd. The forecast is for 235 again. If we see anything above 215 to 220, it's just a further indication of the fact that we'll likely see an uptick in unemployment. And I guess I'll leave it at that. That was a quick video. If you like it, consider leaving a like, and I'll see you next time.